All right, welcome to This Explainer. We're going to jump right in and absolutely crush the Cambridge O-Level Computer Science 2210 paper today. If you've been studying hard, but still feel like you're somehow missing the exact phrases the examiners are looking for, you're in the right place.
Look, we've all been there. You know a concept perfectly in your head, right? But then the exam hits and you somehow lose those easy marks. It's so annoying. If you're anxious about losing points on internet and cybersecurity questions, we are going to look exactly at what the examiner wants you to say using actual marking schemes and examiner reports. We're removing the guesswork entirely. Here's our roadmap for today. We've got digital currency and blockchain, major cybersecurity threats, identifying types of malware, phishing versus farming, defending against cyber threats, and finally, proactive cybersecurity habits. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Digital currency and blockchain. These two are literally popping up everywhere on the syllabus lately. And listen, precision is the name of the game here. For digital currency, you can't just say it's money on the internet. No way. You've got to explicitly state that it exists only electronically or virtually. For blockchain, burn this exact phrase into your brain: a digital ledger of time-stamped records that cannot be altered.
So how do we turn that into full marks? It's all about the terminology. If they ask for a feature of a digital currency, throwing down decentralized system is a guaranteed way to score. When you're describing blockchain, pepper in technical terms like hash value and previous hash, right alongside timestamped. It just proves to the examiner that you actually get the architecture.
Section 2. Major cybersecurity threats.
Okay, you need to know both the how and the why for these threats. The real trick to getting full marks here is to link the threat to its specific method. So, for a brute force attack, you absolutely have to mention trial and error guessing, usually using automated software. For data interception, drop the name packet sniffers for wired networks, or war driving for wireless. And for social engineering, well, the core concept is just manipulating human trust to bypass normal security procedures. Guys, look at this direct feedback from a recent examiner report. It's actually kind of funny. Stop drawing elaborate masterpieces when they ask you about DDoS attacks. Seriously, examiners noted that candidates were wasting so much time drawing detailed little hackers in hoodies. Just draw simple, clear boxes. Annotate them to show multiple requests flooding a server to overload it. Simple diagrams equal full marks. Easy.
Section 3. Identifying types of malware. You know, committing this table to memory is a massive exam hack. The trap most students fall into here? Thinking viruses and worms are the exact same thing. Actually, scratch that. A lot of people make that mistake. But they aren't. A virus requires an active host program to run. You have to actually open the infected file. A worm, on the other hand, just self-replicates and spreads across a network entirely without human intervention. Nail that distinction and you're golden. Also, remember spyware is snooping on things like key presses, while ransomware actively encrypts your files and holds them hostage.
Section 4. Phishing versus farming.
Examiners absolutely love testing this because the words sound so similar, but the mechanics are completely different. It all comes down to user action. Phishing requires you to physically click a sketchy link or open an attachment in a deceptive email. It's classic social engineering. Farming, though? That requires zero action from you once the system is compromised. It uses something called DNS cache poisoning to literally hijack your browser and send you to a fake site automatically, even if you type the URL perfectly. So remember, phishing needs a click, farming is automatic.
Section 5. Defending against cyber threats.
So when the exam throws a scenario at you, say a company getting hammered by a brute force attack, you need specific fixes. Rapid fire these 4 points to scoop up every available mark. Use strong passwords with a mix of characters, enable two-step verification, use biometric authentication, and implement a strict lockout system by limiting the number of login attempts. Okay, pay close attention here, because this is a huge trap. So many students write that encryption prevents data from being stolen. No! It absolutely doesn't. It just scrambles the data into what we call meaningless ciphertext, so the hacker can't understand it if they do intercept it. Use that exact phrase, meaningless ciphertext, and the examiner will love you.
We also got to keep our hardware straight. Never, ever confuse a proxy server with a firewall. A firewall is busy examining traffic against security rules, but a proxy server, it's like a middleman. It specifically hides your IP address, it uses a cache to store frequently visited pages to speed up your load times, and critically, it actively directs invalid traffic away to help stop things like DDoS attacks.
All right, let's look at another major defense mechanism: SSL and TLS protocols.
Historically, students really stumble on the secure sockets layer process, so let's just break it down into 4 super simple steps.
You've got to memorize these exactly in this order for those multi-mark questions. It's called a handshake because it's literally a back-and-forth intro. Step 1. The browser asks the web server to identify itself. Step 2. The server sends over a copy of its digital certificate. Step 3. The browser checks to see if that certificate is legit. And Step 4. If it's trusted, secure, encrypted communication begins. Boom. Easy marks if you just list those out sequentially.
Section 6. Proactive cybersecurity habits.
These points are your absolute go-to answers for those scenario questions where you have to advise a user on avoiding social engineering. But you have to give the why. Don't just write, do updates. Write, automate software updates to patch vulnerabilities. Tell them to watch out for typo squatting, when scammers spell Amazon with 2 O's to trick you. And always mention hovering your mouse over links to reveal the actual destination URL before clicking.
So, let's put it all together. Imagine a mock exam prompt asks, a company is setting up a new network. How would you secure it against brute force, DDoS, and malware simultaneously? Think about it. Could you mention limiting login attempts for brute force, using a proxy to deflect the DDoS, and installing anti-malware while training staff on phishing? If you can combine these hacks and use the exact examiner expectations we've covered today, you are totally ready for this paper. But hey, remember, cybersecurity isn't just an exam topic. These are the exact methods being used by hackers in the wild right now. So honestly, are your own digital habits secure? Think about that. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and go absolutely crush those exams.